Hey everybody, welcome to Trail Talk Live each and every week. I'm your host, Aaron Shimmons, and we're going to get Ricki into the room in a second. Let's let some people join. Ricki is in California, or actually he's in Nevada right now, but let's get him invited in. There he is.
Yo, I know, yeah, but I don't have wired headphones. My new phone has different inlet, outlet. I don't know what you want to call it. So I'm still on the search, on the hunt for some headphones that work in my phone.
I was too busy thinking about your headphones and I didn't plug in mine, so sorry about that. I probably screwed up the audio at the first part of the pod, but let us get the show started. Welcome to Trail Talk Live. Ricki's in Nevada. I'm in Sydney. And in a couple of days, we're both going to be in Nevada and California. So, really looking forward to that. Let's give a shout out to XMiles for sponsoring the show. XMiles.co.uk for all your nutrition and all of that type of stuff. Discount link in the bio. Code is I Run Over Mountains. Go and get 10% off and support the show. Ricki, we've got news, we've got banter, we've got things to talk about in Trail Ultra and also in Ricki Win world as well, because the training camp is well underway, the compressed training camp. So why don't we just start off there and see like how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm actually good. Like I was a little bit not worried, but a little bit sort of like, look, I jumped straight from one training block into another training block with a minimal rest in between racing and getting back on the horse. But the other day, a little bit of a sort of a light bulb eureka moment. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was just like one of those things where I just went, boom, I think I'm good. I think I feel good. So let's keep rolling, kids, keep rolling.
And what was it that light bulb moment? What triggered it? What were you doing?
Don't know, like to be honest with you, like what I was doing lately was trying to train, trying to get back on the horse, and like little things like my calves were just not loving what I was doing. It's like I'm going from a heavy training block for Granite Peaks, and then I'm trying to get speed in the legs, and my calves were just they were in knots. Like, and I was thinking, man, they're just. I'm going to need to get needles. I'm going to need massage. I didn't know what I was going to need to do, but then all of a sudden, out on the Western States course the other day, and I just had a great run, and it just felt like everything was just clicking, and it was like, yeah, my calves are fine now. It's like everything's fine. Like it's just all my muscles realize that okay, he's back at this shit again. So we got to catch up, like
They just give in.
Yeah,
You just kept doing it. They're
yeah.
just like, lads, come on, we get on board here because he's not changing his mind.
Exactly. Just before we talk anymore, I got to give a big shout out to Reno, Nevada Running Shop. Like they're after letting me use their podcast room. I came in, I ran down from the house just to check out the shop, and then I said I have to do a show in like half an hour, and they said sure, just use Travis Lavin, who's actually running with me lately. He works in the shop. He says just go upstairs, man, and use the podcast room. So shout out to the lads.
Sweet, that's nice of them. And you brought your own sign and everything. Can't believe you carried that from Leitrim.
Yeah. Hey, this is winning in life. When you come up and you see that the wall is hooked on it, it's like where else am I going to sit, man?
Made for you. So what about the taper? You must be, what are we, 11 days out from Western States. So when's the taper start? Got to be in the next few days, you'd think.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna again like so I landed here, 10 hour flight, da whatever. I ended up getting from Wednesday until Sunday. I think I put in about 145 kilometers with 5,000 meters of vert. Back that up with 170K, another 5,000 meters of vert. This week it's still going to be a big week. I'm still going to hope for like close to 100 miles, so about 160K, but not so much vert, not as much vert, maybe like, 3,000 meters of climbing this week. And then I taper. So, like, it's pretty much only a 1 week taper because I feel like going from one race to another. I had a week off. I had to catch up. I had to get like that jump in fitness again. And I think I will just 1 week off will have me right, and it'll have me sharp as well. Like, so I will be taking some days off and some downtime, much easier running with some strides, and hopefully like come race day I'm nice and sharp and chomping at the bit and ready to go.
You do seem to react quicker than most, or maybe me anyway, for sure. But I think more quicker than the average runner, and I think you probably need less taper than the average runner. I don't know what it is. It's that superpower that you seem to have.
Yeah, look, even for Granite Peaks, like my I had a sort of 2 week taper, but my first week in that taper was still high mileage. Like, it was still there was still a good bit of climbing in it, and there was still a good few miles in it. And then it was like, I'm coming down 70% off peak, but you're still running like 100K, 120K in that taper week, but that's still a lot less than, we'd say, 100 miles or 160K. So that's to me, that's a big jump. It mightn't look like a big jump, but it is. It's a big jump down. And then the next week, I'm only running like 30 or 40K. So, like, to me, it works. And I don't like a full on 2 week low mileage taper. I always feel very lazy and tired. And I feel like I just want to go to bed. You know what I mean? And I feel the last thing I want to do is run 100K or 100 miles in this case. So
I
I like to keep that taper short and sweet.
I hear what you're saying, but you know what it sounds like? I like to run. I don't want to. I don't want
Yeah,
to
but
not run.
yeah, and that's maybe a part of it too, because I'm over here and I'm getting to run on like unreal trails, and I'm getting to enjoy myself, and I might never get back here again. Do you know what I mean? So I am like soaking it all up, but I'm very aware that I have to run 100 miles like in 10 days or 11 days time. So, that bit of me is like, yeah, you need to be sharp, but I feel good. Like, I don't feel tired. I don't feel burnt out. I I feel good. So that's how I gauge everything. Fake heart rate, fake all that. It's all RPE. It's all how you feel, and I feel good.
Great. Look, let's move on. We'll come to dig it into all of the Western States prep and that type of stuff after we get through some of the news. Obviously, I travel out on Thursday and I'm ahead in the time zone, so I leave on Thursday and still get there on Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a car booked. We've got wheels. We can go and do whatever we want. We've got to check out Broken Arrow, and we've got stuff to do around that with Taper Week in mind as well. But also, like, I'm cramming for Western States pacing, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you're scared and training like hard because you know you got to run 100 miles in the Western States course. I'm training hard because I know I got to run 21 miles with you. That's the carrot in front of my nose. I know what I have to do. So the ankle is coming round. It's getting there. Uh I've run I'm now running 3 days consecutive. I was saying to you yesterday, I'm doing bike every day. So yesterday I did a couple hours on the bike. It's like the best thing ever is doing the bike when the Formula One is on because you don't feel like you're sitting on the sofa watching flipping cars go
Yeah.
around in circles.
T tell it. Tell everyone what you're wearing on the bike. Tell everyone what you're wearing.
What am I wearing?
Uh, You're wearing your David Roach heat suit.
Don't let the secret out. Bucket hat, no nose, no nose strip. Although, it might happen. We'll see. We'll wait and see if we get any feedback in the community, if they're any good. But yeah, getting a little bit of heat training in because it's like 18, 19 degrees here. Not not very humid. Suppose it's not humid with you either, but you're like around the 30.
Yeah, it's like anywhere between 25 and 30. It hasn't gone above 30, only for maybe like an hour or two. That's all. So like even for me, I feel like I think you'll be fine. I think the jump isn't huge, you know what I mean? So if you're going from like 19, 20 degrees to what we are here, I think you'll be fine. It hit me hard the first few days I was here because I'm going coming from Ireland, and it's freezing there all the time. So it hit me a little bit hard there, and the fact that we're at altitude, where I think the house I'm staying in is at 1,250 meters, something like that. So the altitude was hitting me a little bit, but also traveling, flights, this, that, the other. But the heat isn't too bad. I actually don't think it's too bad. I know Western States down in the canyons, it's going to be very, very hot, but I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine.
We'll come to the canyons and the heat and some of the gear and stuff as well in a bit. I've been doing trail and road. Everything's hilly here, so that's coming together. But yesterday went out in the Norda 005s, and oh my God, I'm wearing that shoe. That's the pacing shoe. I'll give a little sneak of this, but I've been testing the new Satisfy shoe, the rocker.
Yeah,
Um, it's sweet. The fit is amazing, but it feels heavy compared to the 005. I'll bring it with me and I'll probably use it
yeah.
as a training shoe. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sorry, Gav put me off in the chat. You're a lizard. That's why. Right, okay, cool. Let's move on. Um we've got some podcasts and stuff planned for Western States and Broken Arrow. But also I want to be clear. I think there's some good uh, outlets putting out content. GOREWEAR are there sponsoring the Utah single track Finn Melanson's show. I've been chatting to them about a few things, so we know that that content is good and will be good. And then the Free Trail live stream of the race is probably the only place to follow the race anyway, given the signal and that they're on the ground there rather than anything else. Are you thinking about any of the content or any of the stuff that's happening during Broken Arrow Week or that TrailCon space in between?
Yeah, well, like I'd like I'm going to be there for Broken Arrow weekend as well with you, and hopefully I'm going to do a little bit of run out on the course. But I'm very excited about seeing all the goings on because, by all accounts, it's a crazy weekend. Everybody's there, all the elites are there, all the big sponsors are there for Western States, for Broken Arrow. It's also a qualifying race for the world champs, the 42K or the 46K, the 46K I think
46.
is and it yeah, and it's stacked. There's some phenomenal runners going at that. You know, there's an 11K race, there's a 23K race, 46K race. It's going to be a great weekend. TrailCon is on during the week as well, and I'm sure I know you're going to be at that. And I'd like to be at it, but I just don't know. I just don't know because it's so close to my race, and I don't know. Your head
Uh,
can be in a spin, and I can be doing too much walking and messing around there and
that's
getting
it.
too excited. Yeah, so Broken Arrow definitely going to be around for that weekend. That's going to be brilliant. And it's going to be great because you're coming as well. You know what I mean? It's going to be great to have the two of us there. And I'm super excited about that. But TrailCon, I might have to just give that a miss and then just be trying to get the game face on for Western.
Yeah, I think you can just use a lot of like energy, even if
Mm,
it's not, you could be standing around like TrailCon won't be any, I mean, it's not, I don't think you're going to miss too much there. I'm sure there'll be snippets of fun stuff, but probably the best parts of TrailCon is going to be like the meetups afterwards and, a few drinks afterwards and the wee chats that you have rather than, sitting or standing around. Um, if you maybe compare it to like the UTMB Expo, like that's
yeah.
just the energy sap before UTMB week that no one running should ever be near. Like get there
What
and get away as soon as possible.
what do they call it? There's a name for it. What do they call that? It's where you're doing something like that and you end up putting up like 20 or 30,000 steps walking around expos and stuff like that and burning energy that you don't realize you're burning. Get home and realize then Jesus, I
Oh
am
yeah,
wrecked.
I've done 21,000 steps today and I'm wrecked and I haven't even run. So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I will not be letting you in the car for TrailCon. You have to stay with your feet up in Reno.
Yeah.
Let's crack into some of the news, and then we'll come back to some of the more specific stuff and some questions and stuff that I've got about that. Hans Troyer and Hyperlight dropped the Kid documentary on YouTube, and I mean, Ricki wins in it from a Trail Talk reel. So, I mean, we're happy about that. We're Hans Troyer fans, obviously, because the snippet was from our show. I think back around, it was just after Black Canyon 100K.
Mm.
Uh, you've watched it. I haven't watched it yet. I kind of saved it for, I'm going to watch it in the flight on Thursday. So, what did you think about that?
Watched it this morning. Literally watched it. I knew I was in it because like people were sending me the clips, and I was telling you the crack about it, and then I watched it this morning when I got up. And yeah, look, I'm a fan of the kid. I think he's a good lad, and there's a bit of banter with him. He's got a good vibe off him. He's cocky, but not in an arrogant way. And it was good. It was good. It's a good video. A little bit sort of like, I don't know how you want to say it, like it's marketing and it's maybe bigging him up a bit more than he needs to be bigged up, if you know what I mean. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And again, it has me buzzing for the race now as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him at the race. I'm looking forward to see, does he actually recognize me? Does he realize that I'm going to be there after putting up that clip, and just little things like that? But no, it was well made, good video, and look, it'll get you psyched if you're watching it on the plane. It'll get you psyched for Western states as well.
They should have just contacted me and I would have given them the high definition version of that rather than snipping it off. I think it looked like it came off a YouTube short instead of even Instagram. But if they had said, I would have
Yeah,
gladly handed it over to them without the gaudy subtitles.
yeah.
Uh,
But it's funny, like somebody else like was watching it, and they had met me like the day before, just randomly in Reno, and then they were watching the YouTube, and then goes, "Hold on a second, I know that voice." I guess that's the fellow we were talking to the other day. Like, they copped it straight away. This bogger accent on this American show, like.
Class. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Looking forward to it. Tahoe 200 was last weekend. You've run on some of the Tahoe 200 course. Race was won by Annie Hughes and Killian Corth. Actually, there was only four finishers whenever I checked this yesterday or last like 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago. And guess what? I think the big news, rather than who won it or anything else, is they actually Destination Trail managed to get on a live stream without any drama or arguments. They looks like they had two 4 hour live streams from, I don't know if it's one or two different aid stations, like static cam kind
Yeah,
of thing, but they
yeah,
had branding around the screen, so it kind of looked a little bit more like something we would be used to. Uh, and then they had some live stream of the winners finishing, and I think they were up as 20-minute or 30-minute clips. So look, they're moving it forward and without any drama. So I guess that's a good thing. But tell us
yeah.
what did you think of the Tahoe 200 course?
So that where that live stream was from in Tahoe City. So I ran from Brockway. So the way it's done, like for anyone that doesn't know, it's done like in 20-mile sections. So the 20-mile segments are all on Strava as well. So you have like, that's how it's kind of mapped out. And I did from Brockway to Tahoe City. Stunning trail. Like, that was probably one of the funnest runs I've done since I got here. And it was like, I don't know, like that whole, like, I know about it, I've heard about it, I've seen videos of the Tahoe 200, and I said, oh, I'd love to run there, and just getting to run there was unbelievable. But the thing I took out of it was like, yeah, I'm actually able to run this. I'm in good enough shape that I can run this 20 miles pretty hard and have fun on it. But then I was thinking, if you're running the 200 miler, you're probably not running a lot of this, like. And I was thinking that would kill me to be in a position on that trail and just to grinding it out and not being able to enjoy my run on it, you know. So kudos to everybody that has tried and has completed the Tahoe 200 at the minute. There's a guy from Ireland, Paul Toomey's his name. I know Paul pretty well from the ultra running scene in Ireland, and he's actually out on course. As far as I know, he's still going. I'm not 100%. It looks like he's having a tough time out there in the heat and the altitude. So I hope he's still going. But man, that trail it's sick. It's brilliant.
What
100%
altitude?
if you're over here. Um, you're talking. It's about, I'd say about 1,000 meters. The section I
Oh,
was on, you're about 1,000
really?
meters up. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah,
So it's not
yeah.
even, I mean, we wouldn't even consider that elevation. I mean,
No,
that's like the town level of Chamonix, so you wouldn't even feel that.
yeah, because if you're on the other side, if you're on the south side, you're a lot higher. And it's like like we say, you go from Reno, Nevada, and you're going up, and then you go down the other side. So you're coming at, you know, you're dropping off. It's kind of like the Western States course. Like we're the end of Western States is only like 200 meters. You know, and so that's nearly sea level, right? And then you're starting at 2,000 meters when you're up the top of the escarpment, and it's very similar on the Tahoe Rim Trail. It's certain parts of it are at altitude, but a lot of it is at damn near sea level. Like, yeah,
Happy days. So I'm actually close to 200 meters whenever I'm pacing you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll be sound. And if you get a few, you know, if you get a few runs over here on this side, you'll be sound, man. You know what I mean? You'll be back down at sea level. You'll be able to run like 4 minute Ks in with me at the end. Hey.
Fuck off. If you're running flat 4 minute Ks at the end of my 21 miler, Aaron's getting dropped. And uh, my wife Sarah was saying to me, what would you do if like if he drops you? Like, is that a bad thing? And I said to her, like, if Ricki can drop me in the last 20 miles of a 100 miler, he's having a good run. Go on, son.
Mm,
Go get
yeah,
after
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, I'll happily come in and miss your finish if it means that you're finishing strong.
Yeah.
But also, like, I
Yeah.
can manage 4 minute Ks for 20 miles. For fuck's sake.
Mm, yeah. Look, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it, look, when I meet you, I'm going to be so happy to meet you. And I really hope I'm in a position to run at that stage of the race, like, you know, because if we can run hard, then that means I'm having a good day, like, you know. So let's see. Let's see.
Let's do it. Moving on to the next result, Trail de Saint Jacques by UTMB was also last weekend. Henrietta Albin won it was an 80K and 100K category, but other notable names there. Antonio Perez, the Scarpa runner, seconded OCC. He won 50K, and then Bart, let me get his name right, Przezinski. He was second, so he's continuing on the ultra journey, which is good to see. And he's actually coming back after like his last attempt was the 100K, 80K, but again, 100K category at the Grand Trail Ventoux that I think Ben Demon won.
Mm.
So good to see Bart moving on. Like we haven't seen him in Golden Trail this year. So this is the first year where he looks like he's properly targeting ultra and also not too bothered to be dropping a couple of DNFs if his day isn't going. So what did you think of those results?
Yeah, again, I was talking about Bart the other day because it was like is that it? Like we've seen him come up and get better and better a few years ago, and I was thinking he's going to take the thing by storm, and then all of a sudden he's dropping out of races. But it's great to see him on the incline again. He's getting some good results. I think he's a powerful dude. He's a big powerful dude, and he's fast. And I was delighted to see him get that result as well. And then Henrietta, I think Henrietta's result was brilliant. Still, am I right in saying she's still no sponsor, which I find hard to believe. Maybe it's because of the timing of the season. Maybe people don't want to offer contracts until January. But surely to God, somebody's got a sponsor her. You know what I mean? She's walking around with bin liners attached to her shoes to keep out the dirt, like, you know. And her husband's got a North Face prototype shoe built for him, you know. So it's
Does
not
she need
right.
a
She
sponsor? Does she need a sponsor? The Album app's 20 quid a month, and there's about 20 people in the Trail Talk WhatsApp community that are Album app fans. I even pay the 20 quid a month because I like the running impact metric, and it's a good balance of when to say, oh, hold on, maybe jump on the bike today, or maybe plan a bit more cross training. So I'm sure they're doing well out of that app because
Mm.
we're kind of all John Alban fans, and I think Henrietta is a great partner for him, and they do a great job together. So I think she might be okay. I noticed the Alban app on her pack. They've
Mm.
added it as a little sponsor in the pack, which is good. Have you
Yeah.
noticed the dirt here in the comments? I'm getting there's a debate going on whether I'm gonna get dropped or not.
See, I can't see it. All I can see is the first two comments, and then on my side it freezes. It always does this. We talk about this, but I can never see what anyone's saying in the comments until after the show. So, like, whatever they're saying, Aaron, don't pass the heat. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'm not listening to them. What do they know anyway? Apart from one of them's crew chief, Patrick, my Bob Graham crew chief.
Yeah.
Moving on, Trail Andorra was also last weekend because here it's trail season. Pal Capel snuck in a lovely third place, not too far off the win. The guy is definitely not as strong as he used to be, but that's him stamping his ticket for UTMB again next year. Uh, I mean, what are we talking? Like 6 years since he gunned it from the front and won UTMB. So it's good to see him still in the mix. He's always going to be considered as a UTMB winner. So what did you think of Pau at Andorra?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of how, you know what I mean? Because like when he was winning everything before, and even before he was winning everything, I was a big fan of him. I liked what he was doing. I thought he had, like, I know he's speaking a different language, but he always had a good vibe to him. He had a good positive, yepa, yepa, you know
Yepa,
what I mean?
yepa.
Yepa. Yeah, I even had like the socks from, oh, what's that brand? I forget the name of the brand, but anyway, I had this, the Pau Capel limited edition kind of socks where it's like this on the back of the sock and it's on one leg and on the other leg it says yepa, you know. So I'm a huge fan of him. Look, Andorra trails for him are like his backyard and they're his home trails. So it's great to see him get that win, get back to UTMB. Can he do something special at UTMB? I don't know. Has that ship sailed for Pau? Can he be competitive against the best in the world? Again, I don't know. I just don't think he has that magic he had a few years ago, and I don't know why that is or what's causing that. But I don't see him getting back to those levels that he was at, which is a shame.
Yeah,
But that's the sport. The sport's growing and growing and growing and getting faster and faster. Like back when he broke it, he was going out for that record sub 20, sub 20. Now there's boys looking for that sub 19 now, you know, and that the sport is getting so fast. And when you come over here, everybody's a rocket over here. I'm telling you, everybody's fast over here. Everybody I meet is a sub 15-minute 5K runner and they just work in a running shop or they work in a supermarket. They're all rockets, hey.
we need to get them on some 40% grades in the Alps. That'll
Yeah.
teach them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I tell you, don't knock it. Don't knock it. Like, cause like I was thinking, oh yeah, sure, I'd be able to climb way better than these lads and da. But like, I'm running with this guy Travis Lavin, and Travis is a coach in I forget the name of the company, but he's in Coop's company, right? So he works for
CTS.
I CTS. So he works for CTS. And like I was thinking, yeah, Travis fast. He's a good 5K runner, good half marathon runner, but he's very strong on the climbs, you know. And the thing is here, Everton is fast, but you're still getting vert. You're still getting vert. Like I'm doing 20K runs, I'm getting 800 meters of climbing, but it's fast running. I'm able to run fast, and you're still getting that climbing in. So yeah, if they can manage to like run, or you know what their problem is, they want to run everything. They want to run everything, and they don't understand the power of the power hike. They don't understand when the right time is to hike and when the right time is to run. They try to run everything. And sometimes you can hike faster than you can run.
Yeah,
That's the
no,
difference between the European runners and the American runners.
that was my experience that Americans seem to be better at running or running
Mm.
climbs. Like even way back when I did like TNF 50, what year was that? 2017 or something, 2016. And I was hiking some of the climbs because I was running 50 miles. And, if it felt like it was burning too many matches to run it, I would just hike. And people were just everyone was running.
Mm.
Everyone was running. I'm like, you're running this shit? Like, I just wasn't used to it because I would,
Yeah,
you'd hike certain percentage. Even then, I wasn't thinking about what grade is this. Now I'd be thinking, okay, it's over 15%. Might be hiking this.
yeah,
But I just think it's the climbs are the gradient's lower in general, so there's more running done. Also, the Americans come from a running background,
yeah.
whereas ultra trail comes from a hike and a mountaineering background in Europe.
I, I've learned a new word for those that gradient. That gradient is called douche grade. Have you
Well,
heard
that's
that?
yes,
Is it
that's is a European term.
is it a term? I thought like they made it up. I thought they made it up because everything is douche grade here. And I'm thinking, do they mean douche grade as in it's a douchebag of a climb? Is that what they mean? Like, you know? Because
I'm not quite
it
sure.
is a douchebag of a climb, like because those kind of climbs where you look at it and you go, "Oh, I need to be running this. I need to be running this," you know. But yet it just goes and goes and goes. It could be going for miles, like that douche grade. That's sort of like 10%, you know. Or
Grinder.
you think, "I yeah, it's a grinder, and you need to run it." And then if you do go too hard, when you do get to the run of the stuff, your heart rate's through the roof. Whereas in the steeper stuff, you can kind of nearly recover and be ready to rip it on the descent then, you know. So there's pros and cons to it, and I think it's a mix of both that you need to be the all rounder
Sean in the chat says it's because you look like a douche running it.
when you do
We'll,
this.
we'll go look at one. Now you look like a dish. Right. Next up, I'm not a UTMB race. World Trail Majors South Downs Way 100 was last weekend, and Lucy Gossage, the Winter Spine winner, great person. Got to spend some time with her during the Winter Spine, and she's just like a bundle of joy running down the trails, 200 miles in, singing musicals to
Mm.
herself. She won, but also Mark Derbyshire won the men's race course record from Mark. And before I pass the mic to you, I noticed that Mark Derbyshire is also running the Lake Biwa 100 in Japan that I'm running in October. So that's pretty cool that he's venturing way over that side of the world for a race. What's your take?
Watched the live feed for the South Downs Way on whatever day it was. I think it was Saturday. I was watching that. It was actually really good. I was following it for the first couple of hours, and there was a great group of them, you know. And Gavin Byrne from Ireland was within the mix as well, so they were all a big group of them. And there's another Hoka runner I know, Chris Kelly's his name. Chris ended up, I think, finishing fourth, but there was a nice bunch of them for a long time. And I was looking at Mark in that live feed, and I was going, he is just he's just setting the pace now, and everybody else is seeing how long they can hang on for. And man, he ran a super race. Eh? Like when he's on form, he's one of the best in the world. He's one of the best in the world. Like that was a cracking time. I don't know how long that record has been around. That record's around a long time, and like he's after breaking it there. And you know what I mean. That was I thought it was a phenomenal run by him. Phenomenal run. And yeah,
I,
I think Lake Biwa for him, he'll do really well at that race. And again, yeah, super cool to see him going that far over. But he's gunning for the World Trail Majors. You know, that's he was saying that that's a title he'd like to have in his name and in his resume.
Yeah, I think it was Tom Jolie said that Mark was maybe thinking about World Trail Majors as a thing, and
Mm.
also Tom mentioned that it is part of the contract in the Kailash contract that there's a bonus attached to World Trail Majors stuff. It's just lower tier than a UTMB event, so I guess the incentives there, and also like if you win that. It's like 15 grand and
Yeah,
you've only got to do two races.
two races. Yeah, two races.
So easy money. Um, yeah, look, let's chat a little bit about your trip because I've got more questions and I want to know um, how we're going on the heat training. What is it like? Normally, you're like a little weapon and you're like, bring the sun on. I can take this heat. What has that been like for you, get kind of adjusting to that?
Yeah. the first few days was it was kicking my ass. It was like if truth be told, like I was finding it hard because it's strange here. It's like you're pushing hard, right? Because I wanted to push hard, and then I don't sweat that much because I just don't. I don't sweat that much. Maybe because I don't drink enough water, and I'm trying my best to drink a lot more water here now, than I normally ever would. Like, so I'm bringing 3 bottles with me on the run, So one of them is probably just all water. The other two have electrolytes in them, and I'm trying to sweat more because if you don't sweat, you won't cool down because, well, it's not that you're not sweating, it's you're sweating, but then you're in the desert air and then you're drying off straight away. So then when the breeze does come, you're not cooling down, so
It's hot
that
air
was.
instead of air hitting water, which cools you. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and then you're breathing in. So again, I'm at altitude as well. So that was another thing I had to get used to. So you're restricted on air straight off the bat, but then the air is so hot, and it's like, your throat dries out, everything dries out, your nose dries out, you just feel like you're just drying out altogether. And then again, you're not sweating, you're not cooling down, but I have got better. And now, like, if I'm running with ice, if I just have an ice pack on me, and again, I'm doing little things to make it work for me. Like, I know that if I soak my top, right, if I drowned it in water, then I could keep cool. But I'm not doing that every day because I want my body to get better in this weather. So I'm running with no shirt on because I want the heat to hit me, and then I mightn't run with an ice pack. And then if I'm doing something like what I was doing the other day and I'm training on the course, then I'm wearing my top, I'm soaking myself down every chance I get. I'm dipping myself in rivers. I've got the ice bandana on me. And if you have the ice bandana on you, you're keeping the back of your neck and the back of your head cool and you're wet all over, then you don't really even notice how hot it is, because and Western States course is funny. Like, I know there's certain parts of it that are very open, but there's loads of parts where you're actually sheltered. A lot more sheltered than where I am training every other day, because
Yes,
every
which
other
is
day I'm
totally
out in the
exposed around there.
desert. Yeah, there's not a tree in sight, like, so the sun is just on me all the time. So all these little things are making me feel better every day with the heat and better every day with the altitude. And also, I'm training up around 2,400 meters most days. I'm running that douche grade all the way up to this tower. Tower's at 2.4. I'm doing a lot of my running around there, around that height. So, like in Western States, I'm going to be up there for only a couple of hours, and then I'm dropping all the way down, and then I'm getting closer and closer to that, like 200 meters. So that's the way I'm looking at it. It's like I'm going to be trying to run away from the heat and run away from the altitude. By the end of the race, it's going to it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But look, one other thing is I am having a blast out here, like an absolute blast. Like, this is a dream come true for me to be over here in America, getting to run a tower intro, getting to run a Western States course, getting to walk out the back door of this man's house that I'm staying with and run for miles and miles and do loops and loops and never have to do the same loop twice. It's an incredible place. This is trail heaven.
Yeah, shout out to Chris and Michelle for putting you up and also putting me up whenever I get over as well on Thursday. So uh, definitely appreciative of that. We're getting some comments in the chat about Ricky's the first Irishman to ever wear an ice bandana. It might be true.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine Mr. Paddy O'Leary has worn an ice banana a couple of times over here, and he's actually setting me up with one of those East packs. Is it the East pack? Is that what they call? So
Yeah,
they've just
East
launched a
Peak,
brand new East Peak. So shout out to them because they're after making a really good ice bandana that doesn't bounce in the back, because that's one thing that I found hard to get used to is it's moving around and it's noisy. The ice pack is really noisy, and if
right?
you're listening to that for like whatever 16 or 17 hours bouncing around, you're like, that's going to drive you mad. So that East Peak one, it doesn't bounce. You can jump up and down, and whatever way it's weighted, there's like special weights in it. It keeps it down, keeps the ice where you need the ice. And I'm looking forward to getting that and picking that up this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I think the East Peak bandana will actually arrive before I do. As soon as I saw, I think it was David in the Trail Talk community mentioned about them, and Killian Journey has ordered two from East Peak for Western States. So I don't know, we might see a normal sticker taped over East Peak. Who knows? But as soon as I saw that, I ordered one. I know I saw Josh ordered one. Josh probably ordered a fucking box of them. You know what he's like.
Unreal. But unreal, like what he bought the other day, where he bought all the new bicarb gels, every one of them. He bought
Six
every one of them off
six bloody
XMiles.
six boxes. I'm happy he got hit by the customs charge because
Yeah,
people that wanted those gels didn't get an opportunity
yeah,
because of that.
yeah.
Um,
In for testing, in for testing. He bought all of them. That's not testing. That's you're in it for the long haul, whether you like them or not. Now you're going to have to
Absolutely.
eat them all.
Whenever I
Yeah.
was testing the Morton bicarb, I bought one pack, and I can tell you, I've only used half of it.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
That's testing, not I don't
yeah,
know what was it like. It must be like 60 gels he's bought.
yeah, yeah,
So look, let's touch a little bit on the training and what you've been doing whenever you've been there, because you came off Granite Peak's 80K, which was, let's just say, under 10 hour run, mad amount of vert in
mm,
the 80K distance, but also in the Mourne Mountains, the grades when you're doing climbs, it's kind of 25+%. Um, that's very different terrain to Western States as well. So, what's that adjustment been like, and what have you been focusing on with the training?
yeah. So look, it's another reason why I love this sport, man. Is because you get to do different types of races, and you get to do different kind of training blocks, and every training block is so different, and you have to get so specific. And like that's what I've loved about it. Like it's been a tough enough transition because I'd have liked a bigger window to train more for Western States than the window that I got, but I'm very, very fortunate, very, very lucky, and very, very honored to be racing in Western States. So I'm doing what I can with what I have. So I had Granite Peaks race, huge vert. Every day was just vert, vert. That was the main thing. It was time on feet and vert, and it was more grinding uphill than running flat. So I wasn't having to worry about my flat running.
No carpet, no carpet involved.
No, no carb. Exactly. Like I think in the Granite Peaks race, there might have been 4 kilometers of flat running, maybe five max. In the mountain section. I know we had the 30K section start, but that was rolly, rolly kind of hills. So when I got over here, I had to jump straight back into training. Everything was kind of screaming at me, but I was saying, look, what I need here is I need leg speed, I need good turnover, I need I need to be able to run all these hills, but I also need to be very good at running downhill. I need to be able to smash the quads day after day. So like I've done a lot of sort of like downhill fast running over the last few weeks, and you're kind of like playing a dangerous game because how much is too much, right? And I'm very aware of that. But like I was saying when I said that things are just starting to click, and now I'm feeling like I feel like I can run fast. I feel like my quads can take a bit of a hammering, and I think I'm ready to take on this race. But like there's still a lot of climbing in it, but over 100 miles, there's only 5,500 meters of climb, right? So it's not a lot, which means there's a ton of downhill running. And believe me, it's super fun. Like I ran from the Devil's Thumb to Forest Hill, right? And then I ran from
What
Forest Hill
mile
down
sections are
to
those?
so from to when you get to Forest Hill, you have 100 kilometers ran by the time you get to Forest Hill. So, and then you have a huge climb up to Devil's Thumb, and that's why when you're looking at Devil's Thumb, it's like the big statue or the big rock that's Devil's Thumb. The locals here always say when you get to the top of Devil's Thumb, you give the thumb the finger, because the climb is awful. Like it's an awful climb up to that, and then from the Devil's Thumb to Forest Hill is about 25K. and there's 1,000 meters of climbing in that, and then you're at 100k, so you've got 60k to the finish, right? But then the next 25k down to the river, there's about 450 meters of climbing in that, but it's super runnable. It's super fast. There's loads of downhill in that. So you have to be very aware of like not destroying yourself, you know what I mean? Because even when you get to the river where you picked me up, we still got 20 miles. We still got 35k to go to the finish. And that's all very runnable. That's all fast. Like so I need to have legs throughout the whole race, you know. So it's all about being smart and being tactical, like, and not getting carried away at the start and blowing the doors off. You know, you have to be smart. Like you have to run fast, but smart.
So you've been conditioning the quads with faster downhills. Have you been doing like get into a little bit about like speed work? Have you been doing any intervals or the hill reps, strides? Because you know what, when Ricky Wynn saves his Strava run, it's trail run, long run,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like morning trail run
I
is
think
that's it.
I think I named two runs here, and that's the first two runs I've named in about a year, and that was only because they were on the Western States Trail, and I was saying I have to name them, like I have to say that that was from that section to this section, that section to this section, you know, because I just thought I can't just put that down as a morning run or an evening run, like because I normally never change that.
I'm glad you felt a
Mm,
little bit of what everyone else normally feels. Talk a
yeah,
bit about what
but
we're saying
no.
there.
So again, like I've like I've done four really good speed sessions since I've been here, like proper, like two a week, right? So like I've done them, and I've done the four of them with Travis Lavin here as well. Like so, Travis is very fast, and like he's training for races himself. So I'm just doing his workouts basically, but they're very similar to what I would be doing anyway, you know. So we're doing a lot of like kilometer repeats. We're doing a lot of 2k on, 2k off, and then we're doing like douche grade like intervals as well, you know, and then smashing the downhills as well. Like they're very good workouts. Like I'm doing like the four of them would have been 10 miles, 16 kilometers. You know what I mean? Like where I'm working hard for 16 kilometers. Like at the end of them, I'm absolutely goosed. Like so, they're really good. I'm getting a good stimulus off them, and I think that's what's helping me feel very fast at the minute. Like I had an easy recovery run today, and like I ran 16k, and I think I was like 440, and that felt super easy. I mean, super easy. That felt like I was hardly moving, you know. So whatever
Send
I'm doing,
help. Send help for me.
I think, yeah. But look, at the end of the day, it's still 100 miles, man. And I haven't done that many 100 miles, you know. Like, if you think about it, like, I've done Kerry, right? It's 198k. And then I did TDS, but TDS isn't officially a 100 miler because I think it comes up at about 98 miles. And it's just such a different race as well. Like, you know, so this is just going to be a huge difference, different experience for me, you know. But
Yeah,
man, to be here and be on these trails, it's unbelievable. Like,
very different stimulus to TDS. TDS is almost 10 hours longer of a run as
yeah,
well, and like double the vert in much less of a
yeah.
distance. So yeah, couldn't be more different races. What about the quads? Like, how do you guarantee that the quads are gonna, or what do you do? Like, what about RPE on the downhills? Because I'd be keen to know about what type of effort that is on the downs, as well as the 2K on, 2K off. What's working hard for Ricky Wynn? Are you going like RPE balls out? Where's the RPE number?
Again, like the RPE on those workouts is about 8, you know. So it's you're not completely tanked, but it
Like
is 8.
LT2?
Like, yeah, exactly, yeah. But the downhill is a bit different. The downhill is one of those where the downhill is purely on feel, right? So it's like I'm just going purely on feel. As in, do you think you can run down this pace for hours and hours and hours and hours. That's the way you have to look at it. Like it can't be just, oh, I'm going to get from that section to that section as quick as I can, because if you do that, then you're going to blow up. Like it has to be an effort that you can manage for hours. You need to be thinking, I need to be able to hold this pace for 4 hours, until I get to that aid station there, and then I need to reset, and then there's a bit of a climb, and then I need to be able to get so so. But that's one thing. I think that's one thing I'm good at. I'm good at knowing how fast I can run for that amount of time, and I don't sort of think, oh, I need to run 100 miles an hour on this section. I think I've enough experience in myself to know how hard to push it that I can keep pushing.
Yeah. We're gonna. I've been getting questions about things that people want to hear in the show, but we're gonna leave that until next week, uh, as we tackle a little bit more specific about races, and we'll put you on the spot and see what the time predictions might be. But yeah, Adam in the chat, 100 miles an hour, yeah, maybe maybe 100 kilometers an hour on those downhills. What about the carpet? Like everywhere, every picture that you post, like it is complete trail butter. Like I think my ankles are very safe.
Yeah, but like I'm only taking pictures of stuff that I know that you'd like. Like we'd say there's a loop there at the back of Chris's house, Jimmy's loop. Like believe me, there's plenty of loose rock up there, very technical running up there as well. So they've all these loops that I've been doing, they've got a bit of everything. And even the Western States course, yes, there's plenty of it that is like running on carpet, like running on road. It's just pure butter. But there is also very sort of like technical downhills where if you're a bit lazy with your knee drive or something like that, you're going to trip, you're going to fall across a rock, and it's going to hurt, and it could end your race. So it, it's not all butter. It's not all smooth trails. There's some actual technical running on that course, like So you need to have some skill. You need to have some skill.
I see Travis in the chat saying that he's bumped you up on our start list for fantasy free trail. So Ricki, hashtag Irish Dark Horse is now a contender. So that's appreciate that, Travis. Ricki, we're coming up on the hour, and I know that we want to leave some Western states and stuff for next week. Maybe we could close out this section on Broken Arrow. You ran some of that course, and what did you think of that in that area?
Yeah, so I did the 11K course. So I did the 11K route that's on, and that is that's a fun route, man. That's super fun. It's like you start off and you're straight into a climb. Like you're out the gate and you do a little loop around the village, right? The Palisades village or whatever you want to call it. And then you're straight up this ski slope, and then you're busting busting your lungs until you get maybe 350 meters, and then you shoot off to the left, and it's this brilliant trail, lovely single track through the forest, through the woods. You've got maybe 5K of that, you know what I mean? And it's super fast, super runnable. And then you've got the next climb up to the top of the ski slope. So you've got that in like 3 steps. So it's like you get one, and then you do another bump, and then another bump, and each bump is steeper than the last bump. So I mean, you're going to see loads of lads that have gone out way too hard, and you're going to see lads that are power hiking, and they're going to pass the lads that are trying to run up the hill. Because like when me and Travis were there the last day, Travis was trying to run them. I'm behind him power hiking. There's a 15-year-old kid that's going to be doing that race as well. He's behind us. He's power hiking. He's catching us. We all get to the top, and then from the top of that ski slope, it's boom, straight down to the finish. So super fun course, super fun. So anyone that's doing the 11K and they haven't done it before, they're in for a treat. Then I also seen the route for the 23K and the 46K, because the 46K is just two loops of the 23, right?
Mm.
That is nasty. That is a nasty course. Like you're basically going up the same climb that Killian will be going up for the VK. So, that's a tough climb, and you're doing that twice if you're doing the 46K. So that's a proper qualifying race. That like Gorge Waterfalls was the qualifying race for the 100K. I thought that was horse shite, to be honest with you, to have that race as the qualifying race for the world champs. Whereas in this race is definitely a very very high standard race, and that I'm super excited about watching that 46K race because it's stacked with the most best some of the best 50K runners in the country. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why you're not doing the VK. I know it's not a VK, it's a vertical race. It's like 900 and something meters, but you had the opportunity there to like flex on Killian and just show him who he's up against in a week.
yeah, big problem there is Killian can recover very fast and be ready to rip it up at the 100 miler, and I don't think he'll knock a bit of him. Same with Jim last year. Jim won the VK before he ran Western States the year he broke the course record. Like, so, yeah, I take my hat off to them, but I ain't doing that, man. I'm saving my magic for the big day.
We have to get up to the top of the VK for the finish. I reckon that's a
Yeah,
spot.
I
Sitting top of a couple
I
of
also
couple of
think.
rocks and see the
I.
goat come
uh,
past.
Yeah, like for even for on the Sunday for the Golden Trail Series race at Broken Arrow, we'll be able to like get up to the top. If we get there early, we'll be able to get up to the top of the escarpment. It'll be good for me because I'm getting like a recce the escarpment, get to hike up, and then we sit there and we wait and we watch all the boys in the Golden Trail Series race. That's going to be deadly. Like, we get some massive action shots there of all the lads ripping through it,
We'll def
and then we get to jog down the escarpment.
we'll definitely be there early enough because we're waking up in Palisades car park.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as bring the sleeping mat, Ricky. We're car camping.
Deadly, deadly,
Right,
deadly.
let's move on. We've hit the hour. Anyone that's watched, thanks for joining. You can catch up on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts or wherever you do that. But let's run through some of the community races because people have been absolutely slaying because it's right in the season. Let me just run through some of these. Sam K, Mozart 120K. The guy just does knocks out 100K every week as a long run.
Every
Um, but
week.
also, but also Paul Brennan, he won his age group
Yeah.
at Mozart in the 100K or 120K. So great result from Paul. Like what a run.
Hu- Huge run, huge run. I was texting him there during the week as well. Like, I was delighted for him, because I think he was like 16th overall and first in his age group. And again, it's a huge race and it's a huge that's a huge win in his age group. So I was delighted for him. And he put the work in, what I mean? That man was training hard. He's training hard. Well deserved.
Yeah, and then some of the other results, Lorcan, Gary, Joe at the Mornway Ultra and Marathon, and Lorcan was second in the 80K, so big up Lorcan.
Yeah, gotta just mention Lorcan as well because look, he was there with us during the trail talk meetup at when was that?
Easter,
When was that?
Easter,
Easter. I was going to say Christmas, but at Easter,
Christmas as
he
well.
was really, yeah, he was putting in the work, like, you know what I mean? And he was saying to us what he wanted. He was stamping that he wanted to go for the win in that race. He wanted to do whatever he could to get the win, and he came up just a little bit short, but absolutely delighted for him. Super result, super.
Yeah, and also gotta give him a shout out because he showed me a taping technique to help one of my feet. Not the ankle foot, the other foot,
Mm.
which has really helped. Like I tip every time I go for a run, I tip the second toe, and it removes pressure from the point that had the injections last year. So I appreciate that. Ian, TT, Trail Talk admin. Ran a 25-hour South Downs Way 100, fueled on Guinness Zero and swirling sparkling water around his mouth. What about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know what's more impressive, that he finished the race or that he finished the race drinking a pint of Guinness, like, and basically trying to tell us all that this is it, like, you haven't lived until you had a Guinness at zero at the top of a climb on the way down, like, insane, insane. So yeah, delighted for you,
The last time
savage.
I heard such lunacy was Camille Herron, I think, is partial to a beer at those track ultras as well. So I think it helps the gut. Um, but I don't know if we're going to be trying that next week, Ricky, right?
No, no, no thanks. No thanks. I like a pint of Guinness, but not on the race day.
Yeah. Let's fire through more of these. Troy at Laurel Highlands getting his states qualifier by, I think, just 15 minutes. He was cutting it close, but also had a bit of a vision quest out there. Not the race he wanted. He certainly was, he did the training. So you don't get what you're after, you get what it gives you, and he got
Mm,
it done.
mm.
So well done to him. Alan, 16 hours at Zugspik for 25th place in
Yeah,
the, I think it was like 80K, 100K category type of thing. So great run by Alan. And then I see Adam, Tantrums Adam in the chat. He had great training run at the Twisted Fork 68K. And I say, we were chatting about this, Ricky, and like 68K. And for Adam, on the day, I think it was like 10, 11 hours or whatever. But at 10, like that 8 to 10, 11 hours is a great overreach
yeah,
as a training stimulus. Like if you can do that every couple of months, that's like a really good primer for longer ultras. I like that.
definitely.
Go ahead.
Uh, Shout out to Chris and Michelle, who I'm staying with as well. This because Chris had a 80K race, or they like to call them 50 milers. So he had a 50 miler last week, Silver State 50 miler. He was first in his age group. Savage race. He ran so well and super strong. And I think he was like 10th overall in time of 11 hours.
Sweet.
So yeah, that was a great race from him. Yeah, and Michelle was running. She had a 50 miler the weekend just gone. Unfortunately, she had a bad fall, like after I think 7 miles, and shredded her knee, had to get stitches and everything. So that just ended her race a bit shortly. But look, she's on the mend. She's pretty positive about it, and she's mad to sign up for another race, and I'm sure she'll smash that.
Chris is an age group warrior.
Yeah,
That man
yeah,
always
yeah.
wins his age group. Absolutely love it. And then last from the community, big up to Dr. Zach, Trail Talk specialist in whatever group you want to ask the question, he'll answer it. He's got the Bog Graham Round on Friday, so that's been a project he's been working on for a while. So obviously close to my heart, having been my main goal of last summer. So looking forward to seeing how Zach does. And I've asked him to stick a tracker link in the UK and Ireland WhatsApp group and Trail Talk. So Godspeed, Zach. We wish you well for that one. I think that's us, Ricky. And next week we're going to be live in person, me and you sitting together with all the banter from Reno, Nevada. So looking forward to that. We're going to tackle a lot more on states. We're going to put you on the spot and ask you about times, about predictions, about what paces I need to run in the last 21 miles. So we've got plenty to dig into. Plus, it's just going to be the most banter ever because the in-person Trail Talk Lives always are. I'm looking forward to it.
Like we talked about things when we first started this show, like, and we started doing these lives, and we started the WhatsApp group and everything. And it was like, you were saying to me, this is going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're on a rocket ship at the minute." And like it actually is like that. It feels like that at the minute. That everything we've wanted to do and wanted to happen is happening. Right before our eyes, and it's so cool that, like, I think that both of us now on Trail Talk get to run at Western States, the most famous of all races in the trail world. Like, I think it's insane. And for everyone that's in the WhatsApp group that follows along, we love you all. Like, as David Roach says, love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only the start of the summer. Like
Yeah.
it's only June, mate, and that there's so much ahead, and we'll leave that for another day. But I think on that note, we will peace out. And Ricky, I'll see you on Thursday.
Peace.
Peace.